Hi, I'm Jim, Mr. Squid School, and I'm here to explain LUTI, and how it be, why it's that, and what it do. LUTI is an acronym, standing for Leagues Under the Ink. It's an event consisting of multiple Splatoon leagues. Maybe not 20,000 of them, but I am an English teacher, so I am obligated to appreciate the reference. Before LUTI starts, the organizers need data on the relative abilities of the teams competing. While some of that data can come from past tournament results, some teams are brand new or have new rosters, so to get current information, they'll hold a tournament or two to get the most current possible information. Pardon my brief digression, but if you're watching this when it releases in November of 2022, this season, there will be a one-day tournament, the In-cademy Speed Ladder, that, while not run by LUTI, will be used by LUTI to help seed their event. It's going to be a great format, one where you're never eliminated, there's only a minute or two of waiting in between tournament sets, and the matches get closer, more competitive, as the tournament goes on and the system has more data on which teams to match you up against. Even if you're not competing in LUTI, you should play in it with your team, but if you are competing in LUTI, go and make sure to also get registered for the In-cademy Speed Ladder right now. It's coming up on the 13th. You don't have a lot of time. Get on it. Based on data from that tournament and whatever else is known about previous results, the teams are put into divisions, often shortened to divs. Div X is the highest, consisting of teams that can win major tournaments. From there, it goes down to Div 1, Div 2, Div 3, and so on until every team is placed. Last season, it went down to Div 9, but that was a while ago in a different game, so who knows how big it'll be this time around. Those leagues are broken into round-robin groups, in other words, a group of teams that each play every other team in the group. In the case of LUTI, those matches happen once a week in climactic best-of-9 sets that the teams tend to specifically prepare for. After roughly 2 months of those matches, the highest placing teams get to compete in LUTI playoffs with the highest finishers from each group within that division to determine the winners of each division for the season. One important aspect of this event that does tend to test the team's organizational abilities is that in order to compete, you need to schedule your match against the other team. So your captain needs to reach out to them, and you have a set week in which you need to plan that event for. So it's important to have a team captain who's on top of things, and for the team members to all be in constant communication with the captain so that they can all communicate their schedules and figure out when the match should be played, so you're not forfeiting matches by not being able to find a time that you can compete with them. LUTI itself came out of a desire to solve a number of problems in competitive Splatoon. For one thing, the community was oversaturated with tournaments at the time, and LUTI's pace is designed to reduce how much teams are expected to play in order to be ranked and seeded accurately in other tournaments. If you're not sure what seeding is, that's... Wait, this video is supposed to be 3 to 5 minutes long. Wikipedia.org/wiki/seed_sports moving on. This has been very successful, as despite demanding less time of a team than would be taken up by entering a tournament every week, LUTI divisions are now a pretty prominent system for comparing the skill levels of teams. In my previous video about how a player progresses through the scene, I talk about how solo queue rating doesn't necessarily predict a player's success in a team setting, and the same is true here. I've recently been on teams that play at anywhere between a Div 3 and a Div 5 level, and I think those ratings were deserved in each case. If you take 4 players from other Div 3 teams and put them all on a team together, they might hit Div 3, that's kind of likely, but if they don't get along, or their weapons don't work as well together, or their playstyles clash, they may underperform from that. Or they may be perfect for each other and achieve higher than expected. A LUTI division is a team rating. That said, any scrim server you go to, you'll see players looking for competition at a certain range of LUTI divisions, even if they don't have a set team. And a lot of the time that's just estimated based on what teams the players have played for lately. Even if players haven't competed in LUTI before, they'll often try to estimate what LUTI division a team they play on would be in based on past results so they can respond to those pings. What's really more important about LUTI, though, is that since LUTI divisions consist of teams of similar skill, competing in it is the most consistent way to get tournament practice at a level that's challenging but manageable. That's really what the event is designed to do, rather than being the de facto ranking system of the competitive community. You won't get blown up in 40 seconds by the best teams on Earth, nor will you conduct a brief, unsatisfying spawn camp of a newer team that you're worried you might be scaring away from the scene. They let you test what you're doing to see if it's working against players with similar levels of experience. Every close match you have, send that team's captain a DM to see if they want to scrim sometime. If you need players to sub for your team in a tournament one day, or you're looking for new recruits and you know one of those teams disbanded recently, having those connections through LUTI is one of the easiest ways to get the extra player you need. On my first team, we befriended and scrimmed most of the teams in our LUTI group and keep up with them to this day, even as those teams have broken up or reshuffled themselves. Sometimes members would leave one of those teams and just join another from that old group. We've met a lot of each other in person and all gone on to make various contributions to the scene, from TOing to casting to streaming, and a big part of it was that LUTI brought us all together with people that we wanted to form a community with.